Hi.
Hi,
How are
everyone.
you?
Welcome
How's
to
it
this
going,
week.
people?
Welcome to this week's episode. Do we have a story planned for y'all?
Yes, we do. Do we have a story?
So let's start off like we've been starting off, and every week we have been drinking through the rainbow. Unbeknownst to me, apparently there are different rainbows out there, but we'll get to that. So let's talk about our rainbow drink of the week, which is our Blue Lagoon. So if you guys got our message earlier or saw our Instagram, we shared with you the recipe, and I hope you guys are joining us in raising your glasses. So we will raise ours. And cheers to the blue, blue, blue.
Cheers, much needed liquor.
All right, so now I'm going to share backstory. So,
You didn't
I
like it?
didn't know.
You made a face. You don't
I'm
like
going to
it?
tell you. I'm going to tell you right now what just happened.
Oh, I'm like, why are you making a face?
Because what happened was, so if you guys look at the other rainbow, the one that I just put up on the screen, you see how it has a light blue and then a dark blue? I don't know what that rainbow is. To me, the rainbow has 6 colors. It's what I've always been taught. Roy G. Biv. It's blue violet. I don't know what this light blue, dark blue. So anyways, so when we started off getting ready for the show, Pookie was like, why are you in that blue? That's next week's blue. I'm like, there's only one blue. She's like, no, there's 2 blues. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So fast forward to us making our drinks. And for some reason, my drink was coming out like this. And I'm like, great, now I have a green drink. So the only way I could get the right drink was to put less mixer because I'm not a chemist or a bartender. So this is like a lot of vodka. So that's why when I drink it, I was like, but I have my backup drink ready. I'm going to drink that one.
You're crazy. I was going to say, yeah, don't drink that.
I wanted the blue color, but...
Well, apparently I am a chemist and a bartender because I didn't have to do all that. And I fixed the blue. Sorry, guys. It's a little darker. I was very distraught because, mind you, we've been using the same rainbow that he has no idea where it came from the whole month. But anyways, I luckily had another color blue shirt. It's a little fancy because it's one of my work shirts. Because,
you look amazing.
I didn't have a regular t-shirt, but you know what? We're here and we're making it through and I'm being a wonderful sport.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yes.
Oh, and wait.
I wanted to ring his. I was so mad.
There's more. So let's get into our show and then we'll talk about the next round.
We have a wonderful show for you guys. We're super excited. Seriously.
Yeah.
Aside from the little hiccup and the bump and the minor wardrobe malfunction frustration, it's a super exciting show. We're really, really excited.
One more hiccup. We'll get to that one next. But first off, we're going to do our weekly catch up. So, how's your week been?
Up to right now, great. It's been good. It's been steady. It's been working and doing stuff around the house, and it's been, working out. I'm still doing that. So
doing good.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Very proud of you. I thought that I had rested enough from COVID. And on Saturday, I was like stir crazy in my house and I needed to get out of my house. So, normal people recover from COVID and they go like take a walk or go to dinner. And I went to a trampoline park. I don't suggest it for any human, much less somebody out of shape, much less somebody recovering from COVID. The guy at the desk said, you have 90 minutes. And in my head, I was like, 90 minutes? Like, that's going to fly by. 20 minutes in, I was like, how much longer do I have to be in here? I want out.
You're so funny. You were like a Mexican jumping bean, like, I can do this.
So then my husband was jumping around like a Mexican jumping bean, and I looked like I was his supervisor because I was sitting on a chair huffing and breathing, and he was like, come. And I was like, no, you have fun. Like the abuelas do to their grandkids. That was me. And then yesterday I said I was going to run to Disney and jump on a roller coaster, and I spent the rest of the day sick because I went on a roller coaster in 98-degree weather after COVID. So here's the lesson. You got to rest longer, apparently, for these things in life. The older you get and the more stronger the COVID is.
Apparently, you missed the memo where you aren't like 100% yet and you need to just rest. Yeah.
Chances
Who
are,
does
even if I
that?
was at 100, I would have died at the trampoline park. So this was really a setup for failure. Oh
You're
my
so
goodness.
crazy.
So,
Like, who does that?
and
You're
then it was Father's Day, right? So you had a big Father's Day
It was.
celebration.
It was Father's Day. Shout out to all the daddies, all the papas, all the fathers, papa, whatever you call your
Daddy!
daddy, daddy. Um, yes, happy Father's Day to all of the wonderful dads and to all of the magnificent mamas or aunties or grandmothers or, just anybody that's uncles that are coming in and just filling up that role for a special child in their life. We appreciate you. We love you.
Yeah.
And we celebrated at home. Um, as we usually do. I never realized that we don't really go anywhere for like, holidays or like Mother's Days and Easters and this and that. It's always at
You do what
my
you're
house.
supposed to do. You hang out with your family at your
Yeah.
home. Like
And I realized that it hit me really hard, obviously, during Corona, where I was like, oh my God, I never realized how much I do in my home, how much I host, how much I have my family over. I love it. We spent the day in the pool. We had a magnificent time doing absolutely nothing, just being silly and playing around. And it was a wonderful, wonderful Father's Day.
And speaking of dads, we love dads, especially TV dads. So we wanted to
Yeah.
share with you guys, Pookie, who is your favorite TV dad?
Okay, I'm mad at you because
Oh.
mine is good, but yours, I was like, oh, but I came
Oh,
up.
I'm so happy
Oh,
because I thought I messed something else up right now. I was like, what did I
no, no,
miss?
no, no, no. I'll beat you up off of camera for that. But I have a solution for my situation, which is mine is a classic and it was my childhood. Don't give me that face. You had me wearing the wrong blue.
I still won.
So for like the rest of the year, I'm gonna be like, remember the rainbow?
I'm sure you will.
So my absolute favorite classic dad that was actually my TV dad is none other than dun, 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 dun,
This guy.
this guy right here, Danny
Yeah.
Tanner. And I say Danny Tanner because that's who my dad was. That's who my favorite TV dad was. I just loved everything about him. I think he was such a wonderful father and so kind and so loving, and it was hard. He had three girls, which one girl is hard enough. And I just love the relationship that he had with each and every one of them. And I grew up watching this show. It's one of my all-time favorite shows. I literally wanted to recreate this family in real life because I was obsessed. I was like, they're so
You
normal.
did.
Yeah, my family was batshit crazy. So I was like, these people are great. I'm like, oh my God. And I love him forever and ever. And it sucks that he's not here anymore. It's almost hard to, you know what I mean? Like you forget because all of these TV characters you watch and the shows are still on and you kind of forget, you know what I mean? That they may or may not still be with us. And
Yeah. My friend
yeah.
Stephanie actually saw him do stand-up the night before he passed away here in Orlando. So it was so crazy because she saw his show and she was like, oh my God, it was a life dream to see him. He was as funny as I would have ever imagined. He was amazing. If you ever get a chance, you have to see him. And the next day he passed away. So yeah,
Well, I'm glad she got to see him. We love him and we miss him, and he will forever have had an impact.
Yeah, totally, forever. And my TV dad choice is a newbie, not an oldie, but he also had a huge impact on our lives. So we love him from This Is Us, of course.
I'll tell you what, though, I have to be honest with you. I don't see him as a dad because I kind of see him as a man, like Danny Tanner. I was never like, oh my God. It was always like, oh my dad. This guy, I'm like,
sexy daddy.
whoa. I love him. I think that was a wonderful choice. He was
Well, I
so
literally
good.
was sitting there and I was like, dads, who do I want as a dad? And I was thinking Disney dads, and then I was like, no, I don't want to go that route. And I was like, and it just came. I was like, that's my choice. That's what I'm doing.
It was a good choice. He was good. His character was an amazing father. So I love it.
Yeah. So on to our next event this evening. We are celebrating something else going on in our world, and some of ours is going to look better than other ones of ours. So I'm excited to tell you guys about you'll see. So we're
Oh, like, what's wrong?
so much.
So much is wrong. We don't have enough time.
So much. So I hope you guys saw the memo, and we are, of course, enjoying some peaches and cream this evening.
Cream.
Yeah, again, I'm not a chemist or a mixer or a cook, or anybody who has logic, because I put it all in the bowl already, so it looks like soup. So so please show your beautiful specimen that you can put together right now. And while you're getting yours, is yours already ready? Are you ready to show it?
So here are my peaches.
Yes.
And they're sliding over the bowl, but they're caramelized with the yummy butter and the cinnamon and the brown sugar, because I'm going to the gym so I can eat this. I don't feel as guilty. I don't feel guilty. And then I'm gonna get some ice cream.
That's the part that I didn't realize. We're supposed to wait to serve the ice cream.
This is gonna, the peaches are hot because they were in the air fryer, so I didn't want it to melt. It does look like soup.
It's gonna taste delicious, but ice cream.
Got it. I got it.
We're gonna start a cooking show.
This is great. And then my whipped cream. Did you put your whipped cream in there too?
Oh yeah, it's soup. It was ready to go.
No. So then you put a little bit on there. Did you try it?
Nope, ready.
Okay, 1, 2. Guys, if you happen to have yours handy, let's do it together.
I'm so glad you weren't looking at the camera.
What'd you do?
It literally went everywhere, and it's okay. It's gone. Go, take 2. Mm-hmm. It tastes amazing, and I can't wait to make this for somebody and serve it to them with solid ice cream.
But I'm gonna have the same problem as last week. I'm gonna just want to.
Let's show everybody. Oh, this is rough.
All right, guys. I'm gonna make this quick for you guys. You're not expected to read all of that. So, for whatever the reason, this was really difficult to track down. Normally, when I do the national whatever days, the information and the history and the origin of whatever the food is available and there's no issues. This was not. So, fun fact, peaches, the origin of peaches, they're native to China. So they traveled from China over to the United States. This is a very popular dessert in the South, but nobody knows how it got there or where it got there. There's no type of information about when it first hit a cookbook or when it hit a dessert, table. Nobody knows. They just know that peaches and cream is delicious and it's served in the South, and that's all we know. And fun fact, when you Google it, it says that the peaches and cream, like the song comes out, the R&B group song comes out. Mm-hmm. So I had to skip that like 10 times before. I'm like, I know I don't want to talk about the song. I need the actual. So anyways, that's all I came up with. But it's delicious, and I hope you guys are joining us and enjoying it. And if not, for my children, I will make you some.
Mm-hmm. And mine's delicious. It's just
soupy, a little soupy. All right, that's okay.
All right,
we'll wash it down with some liquor.
Oh my God, this is a hot mess. Okay, so
you didn't bring a napkin, did you?
That's why I keep it on camera.
I can't deal with you today.
All right. So
Put it
moving
together.
on. So I wanted to talk real quick about some things that are going on that I heard about, and this was one of them. And just to briefly go, if you haven't heard of the cookie company Crumble, the cookie company Crumble, say that 5 times fast.
No, I can't say it once. I will do no.
So it's delicious. It is my favorite cookies. Every week they have a lineup of new cookies, and I order them, and I'm obsessed with them, and I love them. But then I started reading about the company, and the company is really cool, and the guy is really awesome with his brand and whatnot. Well, one of the things that he's implementing is a 4-day work week, and he's giving back more time to people to be with their family. And I was like, yes, spread the news. I want this. This is amazing. And I just wanted to share it, and hopefully, more people start to think this way, because I think
every employee ever thinks this way. But is it 4 days, 10-hour days, or 4 days, 8-hour days?
I'm not sure those details because he didn't post about it, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if you told me
they're sneaky like that. They'll tell you 4 days a week and then it's 10-hour days.
But wouldn't you do it? Instead of working 8 hours, work 10, and that way you have 3 days off? I would.
Yeah, not to say that I wouldn't, but I think it should be 4 days, just 8 hours.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you'll be more productive and you'll be happier, which is what it should be about, and you'll get more done for the company you work for. But yeah, so kudos to them. Hopefully it spreads. And then,
guys, make it happen for other corps.
Yeah, man, like make this happen.
That would be awesome.
I agree. And then, excuse me, I also wanted to celebrate this news that came out. Celebrate / also like, because I do feel a little like, because, American Idol talk show, my girl Kelly Clarkson's #1. Why would she need to have a talk show? But I also realize the world we're in, all the talk shows. Are
you celebrating or not? Because right now I'm confused.
I'm going there. I'm going to the celebration part, which is, you know what? All the talk show hosts that we know are gone, right? So Wendy Williams' show just ended. Ellen's show ended. It just seems like this is the new era of talk shows. And if it goes well, then she'll be around for a while doing it. I just feel like
it is a new era of talk shows, ours included. So yay. Good for her. I'm sure it'll do great. And if not, then they'll find out soon enough and then they won't do another season.
All I know is that if she opens her show singing a song every day, I'm gonna fight her. So
the gloves are off, ladies. You're very aggressive today.
Eso pasa.
Have more peaches, honey.
Have more of this drink that I can't even sip on.
Okay, so
on another quick note before we get into the bulk of our show, we're going to talk about something that's going on in our world.
I thought you were telling me, like, wait, I'm not going to talk about that yet, because I was like, oh. I was going to ask you, so, like, all right, so what's on your mind? And you're like, well, so I was like, oh, wait, let's talk about something else.
You go.
Well, I am going to go because you're the one with the story. So I have to ask you. So, Juan, what is on your mind?
You would never call me Juan. Oh, wow.
Juan Mario Rodriguez. Hoy te llamo nombre completo.
My full government name. This is where we're at right now. This is where literally now people can Google me.
You fucked up at Blue. Okay. So what's up? What's on your mind? What's been bugging you?
So what's been bugging? That's what this should be called. What's been bugging you? What's bugging you? Listen, guys, so we're going to make this brief, but there's this whole conversation going on right now about Disney's gay agenda and their sexualization of children based on the fact that this really started coming up because in the new movies that are coming out, there is LGBT representation and whatnot. So, Pookie has added, I'm laughing because I don't know who this picture is of.
It's Onward.
Oh, I was like, who's she?
And she's a lesbian police officer.
So she is. I saw it one time and I literally was like, who is this person that Pookie added to the slideshow? I'm sure she'll tell me.
Listen, I was like, she's gay. She's coming in the slideshow.
So we have her. And then, of course, we have this story with Luca, which was a very coming out story hidden under their, subtext. And the biggest one to come out recently was this one, which was in Buzz Lightyear, the new Lightyear movie, not Buzz. And there is a lesbian couple that's holding a baby. I have not seen the movie yet, but spoiler alert, I believe they kiss. And that is causing this uproar in people, of course. And so, the biggest thing I really wanted to just touch on is, I think, first of all, this misuse of the word sexualization of children, because I don't know how seeing different forms of love and different forms of families is in any way sexualization of anyone. So I have a problem with that to begin with. Like, not even the fact that, like, you don't want to see it or you don't agree with it or you as a parent don't want it, but like, why are we titling it that? Like, they're not having sex on the Disney movie. They're a family, like every other family. So that was the biggest start there, right? And when you and I were talking, what was literally the biggest thing? Because I want to make sure I don't go everywhere with this. What was the biggest thing that you...
So for me, as someone that's not part of the LGBT community, kind of by default, because everybody around me is, but one of the biggest things that I feel that people need perspective on is why does a community feel like this is not a big deal? Like, for example, what is your view of everything that's transpired till today, everything that's come on in the movies? Let's just keep it based on like movies, where you would be able to say, like, I'm not pushing an agenda. I am not, like, what's your perspective on why the community doesn't feel like this is a big deal?
Because I would love for somebody to tell me, what is this gay agenda? Because if there's a gay agenda, that would mean there's a straight agenda. And I've been watching movies with straight couples my whole life, and never once did I feel pressured to become straight. And that bullet point right there needs to be so loud. I saw plenty of straight couples my whole life, and I was never like, oh, they want me to be straight. I like what I like. I was born this way. I was born this gay. I was made this way. I was fabricated this way. I believe that you are literally wired this way. I talk about sexual orientation as in the old days. Remember when we called it sexual preference? And I've made this this comparison to people. Like, do you like chocolate or vanilla? You like chocolate, right, Poogie?
Okay. Depends on the day, but okay.
You'll eat all of it, but that's your preference. You said that on the ice cream day. You like chocolate more than vanilla, right?
Okay, sheesh. Remember the rainbow? Go.
So, so your preference is chocolate. You maybe like vanilla, don't like vanilla, but your preference is chocolate. No matter how much I tell you vanilla's better, eat vanilla, you're like, no, I like chocolate. I can't rewire your preference. And so we've now retitled it 100 different things, orientation and all these different things. But at the end of the day, it's what you like, what you're attracted to. And so I think this nonsense of it's to convince our children to consider their sexuality. No, it's not. It's just showing different families in our world.
What is this? That. Yes, exactly. You don't want to see gay couples in a relationship in a Disney movie, then geez, take out all the Disney movies because they almost have a plot about finding your one. So very good point. And with that very good point, I want to read a couple of quotes. I looked on Newsweek where they had the article and they had interviews with the actual cast members that portrayed the characters.
Okay.
And I want to read a couple of things that really stood out to me. So the first one says, it shows the representation of what our world has always looked like. And I thought that was such a strong statement. It addressed with the same simplicity as we address any type of love. And I think that that's the way that it should be. Chris Evans, who is the voice of Buzz Lightyear in this movie, added, it's kind of a mixed bag of emotions. You're obviously thrilled that there is a representation in this movie, but you can't help but to be a little frustrated that it's a talking point, because that means that it hasn't been until now, and that means it's long overdue. There's this ribbon of frustration that it's taken this long, and you almost hope that you get to the point where it doesn't have to be something that's mentioned because it is become the norm. And I loved that. I love that the cast members had that to say. I love that they understand that our world has always looked like this and has always been very diverse. It's just never been talked about and it's never been brought to light. And I I I agree. The problem continues to be parents not parenting.
Because I
I
think
agree.
you made a very valid point how in the olden days, right, when we were kids, if you didn't like something that was being represented in a movie, you just didn't take your kids and that was it. You were just like, I
Yeah.
don't want them to see that, so you don't take them. It
Yeah.
didn't become this uproar and this political conversation, and we didn't take them.
My kids were not, I don't want to say not allowed, but I didn't ever put Cartoon Network on for them. I didn't put Nickelodeon on for them. I did not feel that those two networks and the cartoons that were on them were for kids. I
We were
thought
all
they
about
were
the
more
old
for
Disney
adults.
Channel. We were about the old Disney.
They were Disney kids. My kids were Disney kids all the way. And I never judged anyone that let their kids watch it. I know Amanda, which is my stepdaughter. I've had her since she was 2.5 years old, and she was allowed to watch Nickelodeon at home, and she loved SpongeBob, and that was her favorite cartoon. And as much as I never talked badly to her about it, I would just say, "Oh no, let's put this on. I don't really like that one," or whatever, And we would go to Universal, and we would go into, the SpongeBob world, and we would take pictures, and I would
Yeah.
buy her, I would buy her the clothes and the toys. I never had an issue with that. I just didn't, I chose what my kids watched in my home and what they listened to.
Yeah.
We were always around, but adult time is adult time. Go watch High School Musical. Amen to that. That's
Yeah.
a whole nother layer. That's a good subject for another show. And
So
we
yeah,
will have that.
So I do think this conversation needs to shift. I do think that people need to stop with the nonsense. At the end of the day, nothing that's being seen is going to hurt anybody. Your kid will not even notice. If you stop making it a big deal, they won't even notice that it happened. And so it's going to continue to happen in movies, Disney and the others. So you might want to have a talk with your children about it or not, and you choose. But if you don't want to talk about it, just understand they're growing up in a world where they're blinded to the reality that not everybody looks like what their home looks like. And it should not get to this extreme of like Disney is trying to sexualize children. No, they're not. They're showing two moms taking care of a baby that maybe otherwise would have been in an adoption clinic because maybe a straight couple threw them outside of a hospital. Just saying. So let's let love be love and let's let things be positive. Like how beautiful to see different cultures, different family setups, like a baby getting taken care of. How wonderful. Like that's love. Like let it be.
No, you're absolutely right. And furthermore to say, it's okay for family members to take care of a child that's been abandoned, or grandparents at 70 years old having to take a child to elementary school because something awful happened to their child and now they're taking care of these kids. Families come in all shapes and sizes,
And they
in
always
all
have.
situations. And, it bothers me that the hyper focus is who's taking care of them, like you said, instead of, thank God that someone's taking these kids in, that there's a loving home. What would people would rather, what, a mom and a dad, a female and a male, and then the male's beating the shit out of everybody in the household for the sake of, oh well, at least they're not gay. I mean, come on. The world can be very twisted and people's mentalities need to definitely change.
Absolutely. So I'm glad we were able to share that piece, and let us know as always in the comments, what do you guys think? How are you going to handle this? Are you just going to go see the movie and tell everybody that this is nonsense, or do you disagree with people, or do you agree with it? Just let us know. We love to hear it. And we're going to move on because we've got a lot to say this week.
Can we put on Amanda's note, which made a lot of sense? If people don't like it, look the other way like every other time.
Imagine that.
Amen, baby girl.
Imagine that. Great comment.
Yes.
Preach.
Preach. Yeah.
So let's get right into this because we've got a lot to say, and I'm going to let you really, really lean into this one because you you blew me away with this, and I want to know what, this is big. This is big. So we're talking about.
You making up for the rainbow, aren't you? Take a sip.
My green drink.
So what you watching, guys? What we watching is the J-Lo documentary on Netflix, Halftime. And if you haven't seen it, watch it, because I will tell you, if you think you know, you don't know shit. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, it blew my socks off. I have always been a J-Lo fan, as have you, Pookie. We've loved her from day one.
Yeah.
There's always been a lot of criticism around her and her career and her talent. And she can't sing and she can't act, or she's only a dancer, or she can only perform. She's dated half of Hollywood. She's overrated. She needs to stop already. I mean, the list goes on of all of the criticisms that this woman has received. And we've always said it, and this documentary, I think, just kind of confirmed it. There's a reason why Miss Jennifer Lopez is Miss Jennifer Lopez, and she has what she has and she does what she does.
That's right.
I'm telling you right now, like, the reason is there. She is literally, like, undeniably, that woman is art. Like, she breathes it, she lives it, it's literally in her cells. Amazing. Amazing. Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, and I will tell you, I told a friend today, because I know they are not a J-Lo fan. I said, please, please, please watch this, because I'm not saying you're going to turn around tomorrow and be like J-Lo's #1 fan, but you will have a different level of respect for who she is, for her artistry, for her craft, for her dedication, for her, just level of expertise and level of mindset about every little detail. And you will literally, I rewatched the Super Bowl performance and I remembered it very well. I'd watched it many times, and it was a whole different performance now after watching her brain unravel. And I've seen a lot of documentaries in my life. This was very transparent. I really do feel like she did a really great job of not putting on a story and not putting on a face. She literally let us in a way that a lot of documentaries don't. They tell you what they want to tell you, and that's it. It's a storyline. This was revealing, and this was really raw, and I loved it, and I'm really happy she did that.
She could have done, it was literally like 5 different documentaries layered into one, wrapped up in this beautiful bow, where you got to not only see everything that you just mentioned, but you got to understand the essence of her being and why she is the way that she is, and why she performs the way that she does, and why it means so much to her, and everything that she puts in behind it. And it did give a very different level of respect, especially understanding everything she's gone through to be where she's at, and still not getting the recognition. So this is obviously, this is, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's her actual
audition.
Oh my God, audition. It's her audition tape for Fly Girl.
Being a Fly Girl, on In Living Color.
On In Living Color, which was her first big break that she was able to get. So look at her. Doesn't even look like her.
Looks so different. She looks younger now. It's so weird.
Yeah. Well, but I think that happened too. I think back then, I think women were, the styling, everything was like you were meant to look older, and now we're trying to like rewind that clock.
Yeah.
So these are a few of the pictures that I found on that.
And then we also, of course, got to know a little bit, about her upbringing, which we both thought was like super powerful, and we resonated with it because her mom's a very complicated person, and we've known that as fans.
Yeah. And she says it, which was amazing. She's like, my mother is complicated, comes with a lot of baggage. Her mom was super tough on them. She says it on there, like she would beat the shit out of us.
Yeah.
She wanted to raise tough women. Her mom had dreams and didn't get to live any of her dreams through. It was a different era. It was a different time. She had to depend on her husband. They came to this country and, immigrants, and everybody knows that whole story of trying to just put food on the table. And they were really poor. She talks about they had holes in their shoes, and, she comes from poverty. And her mom was like, no, you guys are going to go to school and you're going to get an education and you're going to not depend on a man, which I can relate to totally, because I tell my daughters that every chance that I get, like, go to school, get your own, you don't want to depend on anyone. What I did love about the story behind that is her and her mom they would fight a lot. Her mom says that, like, Jennifer was the one that gave her the hardest time growing up. She was very rebellious with her. And she actually left the house when she was 18.
Yep.
They got into a fight and she left. And I feel like that fueled her so much more.
Like she had to prove it. Yeah.
Yes. And that just shows you what people do under pressure. You have the people that are going to break and cave in. And she says that she was always told, and I had heard this before, that she was not a singer, that she was just a dancer by her own mom, by her family. Like, no, you can't sing. Your sister sings and the other one is super intelligent and you just dance. So she almost says it like humor, like, yeah, it was a dumb dancer. Like, like that was all the potential that her family and all the credit that they gave her. And I feel like that fueled her. I feel like that hurt her so much growing up that I do believe a lot of her trauma she used as fuel to be like, you know what? I'm not a dumb dancer and I'm going to do this. So it worked.
And then I love when she talks about her movies, which it's crazy to me because as the movies go on, like as they put the clips of them, I've seen every movie she's ever done. And truly, for the most part, I love all her movies. And so it's interesting because she's always been given like terrible love on. They don't love on her movies. They give her bad reviews and they say she's not a good actress and this and that. And there's a moment where she's laid up in the bed. And this is what I mean about the transparency, where she's reading a review, right, Pookie? That's what it was?
Yeah, it's a review of someone actually singing her praises.
Yeah.
And I believe this is about Hustlers because that came out while this was kind of getting filmed. And they said that she was an underrated actress that deserved to get nominated for that particular role.
And I love this because when she read it, she just broke. And that is to me,
she
those
broke
are
and she was
special
like,
moments.
Yeah. Yeah. But what's crazy to me is that the popularity that Jennifer Lopez has and the fame that she has, you see her on the spotlight at all times. So you don't realize that she's not getting the recognition for her actual work, if that makes any sense. I didn't realize that she doesn't have these kind of awards. And I love what she said about it, which is she realized a long time ago that she doesn't need the awards. She doesn't do it for the awards. She does it because she wants people to feel things and she wants to feel things. So she puts all her love and on her energy into everything that she does. And she doesn't care about the recognition because she knows that it reaches the people that it needs to reach. And she's happy with that. And I loved that she said that.
And so obviously the thing is called, the documentary is called Halftime, right? And it's obviously that J-Lo gets picked to do the halftime show, which is like one of the biggest things that you can get asked to do. It's like a pinnacle for career. She had been rumored for years. People have been wanting for her to do it. And she gets, told that she's going to do it. But I want to talk about this because a lot of people, after the documentary came out, I saw a lot of people on social media bashing her over commentaries that she never made. And so, again, if all you're doing is reading articles and you're not watching the film, you really shouldn't be talking. So she gets told she's going to do the halftime show, but she won't be doing it alone. And she's going to be sharing the stage with Shakira. And there's a moment where it's like, I'm a headliner. She's a headliner. No disrespect to Shakira, but it's like, why are we putting two headliners? And if you look historically in the Super Bowl, it's one headliner and they invite like pop-up guests and that's it. But to put two headliners and not give you double the time, why? Right?
Yeah.
And the point that I'm bringing up that people were saying on social media is the headlines. I saw all these articles and all these people posting. J-Lo says it was the worst idea ever to work with Shakira. J-Lo says she hated working with Shakira. J-Lo never said that.
No.
There was so much respect and love, I think, given both ways. I felt Shakira gave it to J-Lo. J-Lo took over, basically, like, I'm still running this. But J-Lo didn't mistreat her or treat her like she was less than. And Shakira shined on that stage as well. So in no way was that what she was saying. It was just, it's interesting that all the other celebrities, but the Latina woman who is always being told she's not enough, she couldn't do the show by herself. She couldn't.
It's like you have to bring two of them. And then, like you said, which is a very, very big key, not give them more time. You have two spectacular performers that are known for their performance skills, because Shakira is also known for that. In a halftime show where they have to share this time together, still be able to showcase what they're capable of doing. And
they're women with over 20 years of music. Like, it's not like they have a few songs.
Every single second of what they were. So I did love, the part where they get together, they're collabing. Jennifer's like, listen, this is my vision for this show. And Shakira was able to agree to it, and they came together, and it was amazing.
Now, I will say this. I don't know this for a fact, but I don't believe that most people who get chosen to do the halftime show, I don't believe that most people put in the work that we got to see J-Lo put in. I believe most probably have choreographers. They show up, they run them through the idea, they maybe tweak a couple things here or there, and they do it. I don't think people design and pick apart, like you were saying, by the second. Okay, well, we can put this for 20 seconds. It's an insane level of picking apart, because you have 20 years of music, guys, and that's the problem. They both have 20 years of music. It's not so, like, if J-Lo was there and she wanted to feature, I'm just throwing her out there. Let's say she wanted to feature Cardi B. Cardi B pops up, she does 90 seconds and she disappears because Cardi B has 1 or 2 albums. That makes sense. That's why you pick these guest spots. You don't put 2 people headlining. Even when Beyonce was headlining, she put Bruno Mars and he performed for like 2 minutes, and Bruno Mars is up there. It's just not what you do. So then we got to see her start to create the show, right? They should have been given the time that they're worth. Yeah, if they had said, okay, you're both going to headline, but we're going to make it a 30-minute performance, then
yeah, by all means, it would have been no issue. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk about her, like, rehearsals and her dance.
Guys, and I cannot say this enough. Please, 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 if you have not seen this, we're kind of spoiling it for you. This is a spoiler alert. We forgot to put the little spoiler alert banner, but please watch it. Like, please do yourself the favor and watch it. Even if you don't love her, you're going to respect her as an artist. And it's just a really good show and documentary. It's a good movie to watch. So watch it.
Yes.
Yes.
And so let's talk about this. Let's talk about her in the choreography mode, and how she really made this happen.
Yeah, she's just, again, it's something that's in her. You can't teach that. And that's where I'm saying, like, there's a reason why she is who she is and she's gotten to where she's gotten. She just is. It's part of who she is. She gets in there. She practices harder than everybody else. She speaks in a way where she even says it, like, okay, I'm hard. I'm a tough person to soften up to, or, I'm a hard person to start liking, or she said something to that nature where she knows that she's tough, but she said, thank you
guys for sticking with me. I know I'm hard. I know I'm difficult, but I love all of you. I love this. Yeah. Like, it all comes from love.
She says something like, I'm hard to, God, she says something where it's like, I'm not easy to, like, kind of like she knows she's not everybody's cup of tea. She's not easy to warm up to.
Right.
That's what I think what she said. And she is just very,
We relate to that.
Yeah, every day of my life. She is very, very just, she's goal oriented. So she's like, this is what we're doing, and I'm not going to stop till I don't, unless it's 100% correct. So she expects that from people, and a lot of people don't like that, but she pushes them. And I loved the way that she interacted with them. You know, it was awesome.
I love when she's telling the dancers, I feel everything next to me and every move, and I feel you and I feel you. And I'm not standing there saying, where's the camera? But I'm also standing there saying, where's the camera? Because I can do both. It's not about like, oh, I'm just looking at the camera. I'm feeling you and also making sure we're moving it. I get chills. It's pure
Because it's the
artistry.
energy. She's trying to make sure they understand this is a group effort. It's not just me on this
Oh, you
stage,
do
it's
nothing if
all of us.
everybody's a mess. It's like, ew.
Yeah. She's like, it's not just me, it's all of us, and it's our energy. We have to feel each other.
Yeah.
And again, amazing.
And then what's so funny is I had seen the preview and I was talking to Pookie on the phone, and I told her, I said, you know, Michael Jackson has a documentary called This Is It. And I remember so clearly and vividly in that documentary, my favorite part was one part where he was envisioning things that nobody else in the room was. And he was like, you need to feel it. Like, you guys are counting and you're doing like 1, 2, 3, you're popping up. I need you just to feel the music and do it. And they said, how will we know? He goes, do it. And they did it, and everyone was like, oh. And I said to Pookie, I was like, you know, I don't know that she's on that level of genius, but I think that the preview wanted me to see her that way. And then I saw it. And there was this moment where she said, inspiration, I find it everywhere. And her daughter's dance crew, right? She said she wanted her mom to watch them. They were just doing a thing, right? In their dance studio, very like small little local kind of studio. And in that moment, the editing that was done for it to go boom, boom, and show how in that moment she understood those kids had a place on her stage. I thought it was not only as a documentary, it was so well done. It just showed exactly that she is on that level. I was blown away by this. I was blown away by this. And, you know, she was very passionate about, she was not going to do a show that didn't mean something.
Yeah.
And I thought that was awesome, because anybody can get up there and just sing some songs and that's it. And how's that different than the Grammys and everything else you do? Like, this is the world stage. I want to get a message across. And I love how they kept trying to cut her. They kept trying to cut minutes and she was like, leave it. I'm not cutting nothing. She has to fight so hard just to get done what probably other people do with ease.
Yeah.
And I got to see that fight, and I really, like, it's not that I didn't know it logically, but watching it, you're like, damn, like, why did they make it so hard on her?
Yeah, they did. They gave her a hard time, and she stood up to everyone she needs to stand up to. And she was like, this is what I'm doing. I have waited my whole entire career to be on this stage and have this platform, and I am going to make it count. And the day before the actual performance, she received a call from her manager saying that they wanted to pull her idea, her main idea off, because they didn't want anything to be controversial. And she said, nope, I don't know what you have to do. I don't know who you have to talk to. I am not changing my show.
And rightly so.
And it happened. It happened exactly how she wanted it to. And we have some clips on that.
So she started with the whole idea of hustlers, right? Like, she wanted to give a nod to that because she was in the running for, you know, the awards. And so she wanted obviously to start there. And then, you know, she did
like a potpourri of all of her songs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously amazing performances as always. Like, she's
and I love that she did a big part with Waiting for Tonight, not only because it was such a big single, but because she's been waiting for that night. Like, everything was so smartly done.
Everything was very strategically done. It wasn't by chance.
Yeah. And then she goes on to do this.
Yes.
Which is what they wanted to pull.
This is what they wanted to pull, was
like looking at this picture alone. Like, look what a big image it is. And it's like, take those cages away. That's the whole thing she's doing.
And might we add, this is part of the creativity that we're talking about. She came up with this. Yeah. She wanted to do this. Was her idea. She drew it out. She wanted this way. It wasn't like she had a team come and say, hey, look, we have this amazing idea, which nothing wrong with that, because every artist has
Sure.
their, their niche, and they have their way of doing things. But this is what we're talking about, where that genius level, where not only is she accepting ideas from her team, she's bringing these ideas to the table.
And I say this with no disrespect, but I just don't think that all the artists come to the table with all of these ideas. They may have I want to do this song or what. I just don't buy it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And if somebody knows, let me know in the comments. But I don't buy it. I don't think so.
So good. So this was a representation of what was going on at the time, with the borders and the children and families being, split up when they were coming illegally into the country. So she had the children that were part of her daughter's either friends or dance group. I'm not sure if she was in the dance group or they were just friends from school in that dance group. And she had them performing with her, and that's who they were. And she also had her daughter in the center stage cage, that was going to perform with her. And they started with her song, Let's Get Loud.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like, basically,
It's
the
time to use our
message of it is
voices.
like, this is a time to speak up. This
Yeah.
is a time to have an opinion and to stand up for what you believe in.
And I love that she said, I don't do politics. Like, that's not what I do. And she goes, I realize, like, this is not politics. This isn't about political parties. This is a human issue, a human rights
This
issue.
is just humanity.
And
Yeah.
I cried. I was watching with my husband, who's an immigrant, and watching this, like, the pain that you could see in somebody else's experience watching. Like, he got so upset he wanted to turn it off. And I'm like, please keep watching. I know you're going to love it. And it just comes from within. Like, how are you in a world where they say it's okay to take a kid from their mom? Like, I'm not talking about deportation matters. I'm saying we shouldn't take a kid away from their mom and put him in a cage. Yeah. And so she was very passionate about, this is a human issue and I want to talk about it. And then she proceeds to go from Let's Get Loud to singing a different song.
So in this next picture, she's still, her and Emmy are singing, they're finalizing with the Let's Get Loud. She has the American flag, like this huge coat of like the American flag on the outside. Yeah. And then she starts singing Born in the USA. And as she starts singing that, she opens up this jacket, and it's the Puerto Rican, like this coat. It's not even a jacket. And it's the Puerto Rican flag. And as they're singing Born in the USA with a Puerto Rican flag around her, all of the girls are dancing salsa, and Shakira is on the drums. I mean, hello. If this is not the United States of America, I don't know what is. It's every single culture mixed in together, this melting pot. Happy to be in this country, grateful that we've been able to come to this country and create roots and create a better life for our families. And we all had that same opportunity, thankfully, because this country allows immigrants. We're built on immigrants. So it was such a powerful message. Yeah. And then Shakira joins her on stage, and they start singing Let's Get Loud again. It's kind of like a potpourri of it. And then there you see the American flag is now being shown in that, coat thing, whatever. I don't know what it's called.
Amazing.
But it was just absolutely, that moment that made history. That literally made history. And I don't think a lot of people realize that level of it until you watch the documentary. And then, like you said, you watch it again and you'll never see it the same.
I had just watched it a couple weeks ago because I was showing Rodrigo, and I loved it. It was a great performance. I remember I was just like, it's so good, because he really loves Shakira, funny enough. So like, it was so cool to watch it. And then I was like, I need to watch it again. And we watched it after it. I'm like, I didn't get it on that level. And just seeing her brain again unravel onto that stage and how every detail mattered. It's so good.
There they are together. The dynamic duo. They did amazing. They had an amazing performance. They did amazing individually. Shakira did really good too. They also sung a little bit of Waka Waka together.
Which I love. Yeah.
they were very good to each other. They had a wonderful time doing
But
it,
look
and
at
I
this
love.
picture. Look at this picture. Where like nobody in this
No, there's
picture is
nothing.
upset to be next to each other. They did it. They felt in
There
that
was
moment like,
nothing
we
but
did it,
love,
girl.
admiration, respect, appreciation for being Latina women that have made it in such a difficult career against all odds,
Yep.
and were given the opportunity that even though they were sold short on, they rose above it and they were able to not only make it happen, but make history happen.
That's right.
And that's such an amazing moment.
I loved it. And then you have a quote here from J-Lo.
Well, because she has now joined, she partnered with microfinance organization, Grayman America, right? So basically, not only is she, amazing as far as an artist and all that she does in that sense, and she's an entrepreneur and she's a businesswoman and she owns all of these different, she has a clothing line and a beauty line, skincare line, all of that. She's actually, she cares, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it shows. It's like she is using her platform to help the Latino community. So one of the things that I wanted to point out is she's going to help mentor the organizations for more than 150,000 women that run small businesses in Latino communities, right? So basically, motivate, promote, inspire, educate them on credit, on asset building to help them understand the pathway. So the number of Latino owned companies has grown 35% over the past 10 years compared to 4.5 increase in white owned businesses.
Yeah.
That's a huge
Huge.
difference right there. And a survey from Stanford found that 20% of Latino owned firms that applied for national bank loans over $100,000 received funds compared to 50% of white owned businesses. So it's harder for them to get loans. And
Yeah.
this organization is going to assist them in being able to get them, loans, get them the
Yeah.
information they need, get them the, kind of guide them. I don't know if they're going to be partnered with any type of national bank or anything like that. I don't have that information, but I do know that she stands for her community. She wants to help, she wants to make a difference, and I just think that that's something that's admirable.
That's what it's about. Like, you get to this level, and if you're not giving back and helping your own people, you're doing it wrong. And I think it's awesome because nobody's required to do anything. But if you're a good person and you're going to say you care about people, this is how you put your money where your mouth is, and you actually lift up your community. Um, Anybody who works in finance knows it is absolutely harder, especially as an immigrant. It is absolutely harder to get funding and loans and lending on anything that you want to do in this country. It's harder. It's a process. It's a whole thing. You have people that have come to this country, and I'm speaking from my own financial background, that come to this country and they could have been doctors and lawyers in their country, respected for 20 years, and they come here, they don't have a social. So when they get their social, they're on ground zero. They're like you at 18. And they're like, but I had all of it is hard. It is hard. And we do come on the backs of our immigrant background as well. Me and Pookie are both from Cuban families. Like, we were born in this country, but it is so deeply ingrained in us, the love and admiration for what was done so that we could have this life and the next generation could. I'm very proud of her, of Jennifer Lopez, showing this side of her. Because if people take the time to watch it, they will see like she's more than just like this girl that wants to be on a stage. Like she gets it, she got it, and she's going to do big things. I love that last speech she gave recently, winning some icon award, where she goes, "I'm just getting started." And if this documentary showed me anything, is she meant that. She is just getting started, boy.
I agree. I feel like she feels like now she's where she's always wanted to be.
Yeah.
And now is when she's going to be able to show and prove and do everything that she's always wanted to. So kudos to her. It was a wonderful, wonderful documentary. I hope everybody gets a chance to watch it.
Yeah.
I promise you will love it.
And if you hadn't already watched it and you're gonna watch it, come back to this video and comment. Let us know you saw it, what you thought.
Yes.
We'll keep back to you guys. I would love for all of you to see it because I really think it's amazing. And if you were coming into my home, I would be like, sit down, we're watching this. So I'm watching it again. I want to watch it again already. So
watch it, guys. And yes, comment because that'll be super cool.
All right, guys. So we are going to go into our segment here where we like to shine a light on things in our world. And of course, this month, with it being Pride Month, we're doing different LGBT organizations. So I'm very excited to actually showcase one that is a local one here in Orlando. It's called the Zebra Coalition. It's actually very well known here in the area. And I just wanted to share with you guys a little bit about them. The information on how to get involved with them, their website and everything is in the bio. So again, if you're interested in giving back and getting involved, please do. Also, that picture shows you what hand hearts should look like. Mine never do, but that is what they're supposed to look like. But I want to tell you about the Zebra Coalition. Their mission is to support and inspire the LGBTQ youth. The coalition is a network of organizations which provide services to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and all youth ages 13 to 24. The coalition assists young people facing homelessness, bullying, isolation from their families, physical, sexual, drug abuse, and with individualized programs to guide them to recovery and stability. Okay.
That's awesome.
I think it's an amazing organization. From what I just researched today, I'd known about them before. I love, knowing that they actually care about people in their communities. When you see these statistics, they're daunting. They're really, really like daunting. They're really heavy on my heart. Like 50% of all male youth suicides are from the LGBT community. 80% of gay and bisexual youth report severe problems with cognitive, social, and emotional isolation. 26% of LGBTQ youth who come out to their parents are told to leave their home. And I've had really intense conversations with people who don't think this is still happening in our world. And unfortunately, I know it shouldn't. And obviously I disagree with it, but it is. And so, they are all about, supporting all different people, all different stripes. That's where the zebra comes from. I think it's a beautiful message. And again, I don't know where I'm going to land, but every week that I'm looking into more and more and more, I'm like, I have more to do in this world. And I hope that it inspires you guys by us sharing this, because I think we're all called to give back in some way. And again, I don't know where I'm going to land, and I will definitely share with you guys once I land somewhere. But I think this is amazing. And so I'm really happy to share. Again, if you're interested, the website with all the information is there. And again, if you're not in Orlando and you want to look for other ones, last week we shared other ones. So check on those. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. It's always nice to see communities coming together, and there's something out there for everyone. And we talk about it all the time. I know money's tight, time and love and energy and effort is all you have to give.
That's it.
So if your heart is pulling on something specifically, whether it be with, the LGBT, or whether it be with animals, or whether it be, environmental, like whatever it is, whatever pulls and tugs at your heart, there's always something that could be done that's to help the community and to help yourself feel better about what you're giving back to your community and to people. It's so awesome to be able to kind of give yourself and give your time to a cause that you feel strongly about.
Yeah. And this exact conversation really does flow right into what I wanted to share for this week's Ending on a Happy Nota. I had this on my heart, and I just this week decided, instead of sharing a quote or something, I was just going to share something from my own heart. And this is what I wrote here, and I'll just kind of paraphrase, but I wrote a little bit of notes so I don't lose my train of thought. We're all filled with a lot of really great ideas. And I had this conversation recently with Pookie, and it's really something that is sitting on my heart, and I just have to put action to it. Sometimes we have too many ideas, and I want to encourage all of you to do this with me. I want you to just write a list of what are all your ideas, and then look at that list and say, which ones are my best ideas? And then say, I really want to try this one idea the most, and put your all into that one idea. Tony Robbins teaches that when we have 5 different projects going on, if we're giving them 100% of our effort, they're actually only receiving 20% of our effort, because you only have 100. You don't have 500% to give. So if you've got 5 things that you love, you're giving 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. So no matter how great you're doing, you're never going to achieve it because you can't. You're one human. And so imagine if you gave your 100% to the first project that you say, this is the one I really want to try, you'd have something come from that. And you'd be able to decide whether this is the thing or if it isn't. And that's okay if it isn't. You get to cross it off the list and go to the next one. But in the end, we get to figure out which is the dream we're supposed to be attached to. And I really want to encourage you guys, it's time to live them out. I don't want to die with all these dreams and ideas and things inside of me and say, God, I had so many things that I would have, could have, should have, maybe wanted to do, but never got to try any of them. And I really hope that this resonates with all of you the way it resonated with me. All we have to do is begin. And instead of tiptoeing into all these different things and just saying, I did a little bit here and a little bit here. So I want to know, if you're watching this, if you're hearing this, who's with me? I'd love for you to share what is the idea you're going to dive into. And if you don't know today, that's okay. But I want you to stay tuned because I'm going to share which idea I dive into and all that jazz. I don't have it for you today, but I'll share eventually when I'm ready. But I really do hope that this resonated with you guys because it's an important conversation that I think a lot of people can benefit from.
Yeah. And Yvette will teach you that that once you write down all of your ideas, like me and him were talking about, write down the pros and cons to each idea, because this is something that will help you eliminate. And it happens to all of us, some of us more than others. It's so funny. I didn't know that Tony Robbins had that teaching. I would have thought you would have been on it a while ago then.
You know, and here's the problem. I don't know. Here's the problem with that. I never have an issue understanding things logically. I get it. I understand what he's saying. It's implementation that is my biggest problem. I understand all of it. And so he actually goes further, and I can share the whole story another time, where he talks about, if you want something to work, you have to think of this way. If you were to get onto an island and you needed to survive, and there's boats at the edge of the water, you will never fight as hard as if there are no boats. And those boats are all the other plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E. You want to take over the island? He says, burn the fucking boats. When you burn the boats, and this is the thing we're doing, you'll make it work, and it will work. It's powerful, but one thing is understanding it. Another thing is applying it. And most people, myself included, are not masters of implementation. I can teach it. I can share it. I get it. I love it. I'm not applying it. And that's where the shift has to happen now, where I want to implement things that I've taken the time to learn and invest in. Because there's a lot of me to give that I'm not able to because I don't implement in the right way. So I'm excited about what's to come.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what that is for you, and for everyone else that may have 100 other ideas that they don't know where to start. Just pick a few, write them down, write the pros and cons, and start one by one. And it doesn't have to take 5 years to realize that that's not the one that you need to be on. It's okay to kind of process of elimination. And this is something that I always tell my kids. It doesn't matter if you're moving side to side. It doesn't matter if you're moving, zigzagging. As long as you're moving and you're moving forward, it doesn't matter what that road looks like. Yeah. We have to get past this stereotype and this mentality that has been instilled in our generation, which is, this is the only path. And that's not true anymore. Yeah. And it creates a lot of unhappy people when you're not doing something that you enjoy, or something, at least. I mean, listen, job is a job, a career is a career, and there's going to be good days and bad days with everything. But if you are doing what you love to do 90% of the time, then the 10% that you're not having a good day is easier to live, than sitting in a job from 9 to 5 where you're not happy. So yeah, definitely.
And we are all taught to be okay being okay. We're all taught to be okay being unhappy, and working our all to not get recognized, to not get promoted. We're taught that's life. And I don't think it is. It's time that we step out and we step up and we make things happen in a much bigger way, because we were created for more than that. And I want to be able to say that I did more than that, So yeah.
Sir.
And now, as always, before we go, it's time to
play the damn thing.
So today we were doing a round of true or false questions. So no filling in the blank or guessing. So this is good because we won't take too long or hesitate. But let's see what you guys think of this game today. And so we have 5 questions. So Pookie, go ahead and you start.
Okay, so I want you guys to guess as well. I'm gonna give like a couple seconds after my question to see what you guys put, and then we'll go to the next. So
I feel like our questions are going to be so drastically different, but go on.
True, they always are. Okay, so true or false? I am a loner and I enjoy being by myself.
Do you want me to wait to answer?
Well, yeah, because we're giving them an opportunity to be able to answer.
I was like, wait, do I answer?
I'm calling all of our guests that are on the show, everybody that wants to play along with the let's play the damn thing. Let's see. The answers are coming in. False. It is straight across the board. False.
I would have said false.
It's false. I am a people person. I love hanging out with people, and I love spending time with the people that I love.
I will say you do have a great balance of enjoying alone time and being able to do that, but a loner you are not.
Yeah, I do. I am very balanced, and I don't mind if I have to be alone, but if I don't have to, then I won't.
All right. My first true or false statement is I have seen Kelly Clarkson in concert live 13 times.
Yes, I do, Patty.
That's a very cute comment. We love you.
You're so cute. All right, guys. So is he true or is he false?
There's like a few seconds delay before it goes in. Okay. We got true.
True.
All right. Pookie, your guess?
False.
Why?
Because it hasn't been that many times.
Ah, you suck! You and Jackie knew.
How many times has it been?
I have seen her many times. I have seen her 10 times.
10 times. Close enough. Yeah.
Good job, guys. Okay, you're up.
Okay. So I love the fall. It's my favorite season ever. I'm a fall baby. I lost count.
Amanda, is that you? Amanda, I was doing this way before you were born.
She's heard stories.
False is she loves the fall. What did you say?
I love the fall. It's my favorite season of all time. Unanimously true. Very true. I love me some pumpkin spice latte and some fall decors. And if I can throw myself in leaves, I totally would, but we don't get them here.
And hocus pocus.
Oh my God, hocus pocus. Dead man's toe.
'Tis firm. All right, my question, my statement is, if I could go anywhere in the world on vacation, my first choice would be Italy.
Hello, guys.
Are you guys listening?
Oh, it would be Disney.
No, it would not be Disney. Disney's right here.
Anna says true. I don't
3,
know.
2, 1. Yo no sé.
Yo no sé. Amanda said it in Spanish. I said it in English. I'm like, I don't know. I would have thought Paris.
It's true. I would go to Italy first.
Okay, so.
I love pasta.
La pasta. Okay, so Italy. That's cool. Mine too, actually.
She said liar.
All right.
Why would I lie?
Lies. Okay, guys, true or false? I have never shoplifted before. I am a law-abiding citizen. Okay.
Let me tell you what I
False.
didn't do today. I did not drink this drink because I would not have made it through the show.
False. That is correct. I am a repeat offender. So once when I was like 4, I stole some gum from the gas station.
You're a terrible.
You remember those little gums that were like little squares, different color squares, and they
Yes.
came in, it looked like a little milk carton, but it was
Yes.
like a baby milk little carton thing. I stole one of those, and my mom made me go back into the gas station. Yeah, that's the next one. My mom made me go back into the gas station. Make sure Joe doesn't hear. He's in the room sleeping. I think I'm covered. And she made me go in there, and I had to tell the store clerk that I stole something, and I thought I was gonna die. It was the worst feeling ever. And then when I was like, I think it was 11, I went to I think it was Claire's or something with my grandmother at the mall, and I stole some little pink glasses that were like, they looked like seeing glasses. I stole that and something else. I don't remember if it was like a pen or something. I don't know. And my grandmother made me feel so bad the whole entire way home. She's like, I can't believe you did this to me. And I'm like, whatever. I was being a brat. And then I got home and I was watching cartoons and I put on my glasses. And then she kept nagging me. So then I like broke them. And I was like, fine. And then I never stole again.
Do you know what my sister used to steal? She used to steal the magazines with Backstreet Boys on them.
Oh, Nikki used to steal those.
It's a sister thing.
So yeah.
Oh, I want to think of other questions. I want to change all of mine now.
That and I am a record.
Yeah. My next statement is, I have seen Britney Spears in concert 3 times.
Why is that funny?
Because I don't like the questions anymore, but I can't change them because I can't think that fast.
Okay, guys. Has he seen
Britney?
It's Britney, bitch.
Up and down.
You guys are taking way too long.
It's because I think there's a delay from the streaming. That's why I said
I'm gonna need y'all to speed it up. Okay. Amanda says that sounds true. Patty says true. And your answer is?
What's your guess? You have to guess, silly.
No, not 3 times.
Yes, I have.
Oh, man.
I saw her twice on the circus tour and once on Femme Fatale with you.
You saw her twice in the same tour?
It was 2 different circus tours, but it was the same album.
Oh, I was like, God.
I'm like, Miami, Fort Orlando.
All right. So that
don't
was
put it past me.
Okay, next question, true or false? I am extremely selective of my friendships.
The answer is a true. Very true. Very, very true.
Selective. Extremely selective. I keep my circle small.
You saw what Jackie wrote? We don't like.
Yeah, we don't like many people. See, I told you I was alone. I like to be by myself.
And then my next question is that, or my next statement, I once drank 14 Long Islands in one night. That's all I got. I couldn't think of things.
Guys, did he or did he not?
We gonna go on a
14?
What? 14.
Amanda goes, definitely true.
False.
Oh,
False.
Anna got
False.
false. She said you can't hang.
Nope. It's false or true, Pookie? True
You're
or false?
gonna say the answer. Just say it already.
You say it.
Yeah, true. Was it
It's
your
true.
Orlando days?
Yeah, of course
Yeah.
it was.
Orlando days, yeah, for sure.
I went to the bartender and I said, "Can I get 14 Long Islands?" At this bar we were going to, they were $1, so I could definitely afford it. And he goes, "For who?" Because there was nobody. Everybody else was at the other bar. And I was like, "For me." He's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Can you do it like 7 doubles? Like just pour 7 cups and make it double so they're 14." He's like, I guess. And I'm like, "Here's $20." So he had his tip. And he poured the drinks, and there was a straw in each one. And Javi, my best friend, used to call me a camel because I got them and I drank like this. I drank all of them in a row. I didn't take a break. So in like 10 minutes, I was really drunk. So I don't do that anymore. I do agree that currently I'm more of like a 2 Long Island guy, not a 4. But back then, yeah.
Why the hell? And then I'm thinking, you ordered at the same time. I'm thinking, okay, the night.
There's a reason. Do you want to know the reason? So in Orlando, the clubs close at 2 a.m. And this was the bar that we would go to before going to the club. And we got to the bar late. So I was very militant about our time. We had to be there by 10:30 so that by 11:30 we were going to the club and we had 2 hours at the club. And we got there and it was already 11. And I said, 20 minutes and we're drinking and we're leaving. And that's what happened.
So you didn't want to make it to the other club.
I wanted to make it to the other club, but I didn't realize that by the time I
to
got to that club,
14 Long Island Ice, you wanted to die.
There's more to that story that I won't go into, but when I did get to that club, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, is the least thing that could have happened.
And
all right, speaking of drunken nights, so true or false? This is my last one. I once pulled a Coyote Ugly and jumped on a bar and danced in Cancun.
Do it now. Back in my day.
So is that true or false?
Remember that one time that Anna? No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe they missed the question. So,
all right. So I would say false.
Question. Anna says false. Amanda says, seems like something you would do. I'm going to say true. False. If not, you never told me. Deja. It is absolutely true.
What?
Yeah. So on a trip to Cancun with a few coworkers, this was back in like 2006, 2007. I think it was 2006. We went to Cancun and we were drinking and I pulled a Coyote Ugly and I jumped up on the bar and I was dancing and they were giving me drinks and there was like girls next to me laying on the bar getting shots from their belly button taken out, and it was a lot of fun.
You saw a potty roll?
I'm already here to hear the full story. Yes, I will tell you the rest later.
All right. Was that your last question?
That was my last question.
So I've got my last question. So
Amanda goes, I told you.
So my last statement is, after knowing my now husband for 3 months, we got married.
Amanda said, I know my mama. That's cute. I love you, Wanda. She sure does. She was like, yeah, she seems like the crazy type to dance on the bar.
I mean, there's worse things you could do.
I mean, I almost started going into Greece.
There are worse things I could do. I wish I knew the rest of the words. That's all I know.
Come on, Jackie, you know that one. Okay, so Anna said true. Jackie said false. Patty said false. Jackie said
1 month.
1 month. Patty, it was 1. Amanda, false. Oh, wait, false. That's such an Anna answer. Oh, wait.
Anna, you're out. And your vote is.
I could sleep with all the guys. That's the rest of the song.
So, Boogie, true or false?
No, it's false. It wasn't 1 month.
I said 3 months.
Oh, yeah, true.
Nope.
It was 1 month.
months.
Oh,
I'm not.
I'm with Amanda.
I'm not
he came
crazy.
on in. The guy was just there.
Not 1 month, 2 months. So, real quick, because we got to wrap up this long show. So, I was joking with a client who told me that she got married really fast and that she had known a guy, and like a week in, he was like, "Oh, let's get married." And I jokingly was like, "Girl, you were like, no, give me at least 2 more weeks." She goes, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Yeah, what?" She goes, "We did it in 2 weeks." I was like, "Oh." I'm like, "See, I didn't go too fast, not at all."
You're like, I was fine. Well, listen, I moved in with a guy
I'm
after
aware.
3 months.
Yep.
But I didn't marry him till 3 years later.
And I was like, I don't know. I just saw the picture on
I
Facebook.
made sure. Amanda goes crazy, people.
Yeah, well, it runs in your blood, honey, so get used to it. All right.
Girl.
Well, that was this.
All right, guys. This wraps up our very long show for today. We had a lot of information to share about the documentary and about the Disney stuff. And we love you guys so much for hanging out with us. You guys are our faves.
We appreciate you guys so much for joining us. I don't know what happened to the picture that I posted, but go out and find your tribe, find your people. Life is better when we do it together.
We do it together.
Thanks again for tuning in and spending some time
with people like us.
People.
Good night, guys. Love you.